Today's film is one which I feel a really strong connection to, not just because it's set in Scotland, but because it brings me back to my childhood. Of course, I didn't have a rough upbringing and I didn't grow up in the same time frame of the film, but something about the way the children are presented, I think, is a real honest portrayal of how children actually are. I'm not really sure what it is, the way they play, the way they act towards others, or the childlike innocence and optimism. It just seems like it comes from a very genuine, honest place, which I'm sure will resonate well with others as well. Ratcatcher is a powerful drama set in 1970s Glasgow and was the debut film of Scottish director Lynne Ramsay, who went on to make the brilliant We Need to Talk About Kevin. The film follows a young boy called James who is brought up during a period of strikes. It sets up this kind of grim and depressing atmosphere as we see rubbish sprawl across the streets with rats, lice, and dirt all over the place. His home life isn't much better either. His father is a drunk who occasionally beats his mother, and he has to come to terms with the traumatic death of his friend who drowned in the canal. The family are hoping to move away from this environment, but a few things happen which make this seem highly unlikely. Although the whole film isn't in this bleak and serious tone, as soon as it does get too far into this gritty territory, James's hope, curiosity, and optimism shines on, and there's also quite a number of funny moments scattered in there too. There's a lot of wit in the exchanges between some of these characters, most notably with Kenny, his odd, rat-loving friend. There's also quite a few weird and surreal moments in there as well. I look at this film as seeing the world through the eyes of a child as it constantly shifts between fantasy to reality. The characters all have their own flaws and some seem mysterious, but a lot of them still remain likable. And I think that adds to the realism of this film. The ending is really quite ambiguous. Depending on your own interpretation, it could be viewed as a positive or a negative ending. For the most part, the soundtrack is pretty bare, with only a few select songs sprinkled in there. But I think it gives it a bit more impact when they are used. I particularly like the use of the Nick Drake song, used in a key moment of the film. The best points about this film would be the great characters and the powerful images used. I would highly recommend this film. Lynne Ramsay did a fantastic job in creating a tragic yet, to some degree, uplifting film, which I think was overlooked. It isn't exactly a film for everyone, but I loved it. Thanks for listening.